Hello, fellow modelers, people interested in modeling, and people that were going over the web and seeing this ugly face and wondering what this guy's going to blab about. My name is John Lanning with IPMS for Crook, and, well, this is about O Con Expo in Omaha, Nebraska, Council Bluffs, Iowa, in June. Anyway, we're about a month and a half away from the event, and, well, the rules for the model contest are right here, and I will be reading to you verbatim. There will also be a printed version of it with the link, so if you don't want to hear me drone on about this, you can actually read the regulations. Anyway, there are also a couple questions that were posed concerning the event, and I will answer those questions. First of all, let's see here. And there has been some changes. Not major changes, anything like that. It has to do with stuff such as 3D modeling, a few minor things. So anyway, if you attended OmaCon or O Con Expo, used to be known as OmaCon until the coup hit. Anyway, if you attended any of the model contests we had previously, rules pretty much well the same. Themes changed, but the rules, basic build rules, stuff like that, none of that's really changed that much. So, anyway, this year the theme, there is a theme. We originally was planning on not having one until we found out that a certain individual was going to be there, and we just decided, well, we'll do it again. This year's theme is Star Trek, anything Star Trek, and I'll go further into that. Anyway, here are the following rules. The contest is open to all contestants. The contest is free. There are no fees. No entrance, nor model fees, none of that sort. Number of model entries are unlimited. However, we do request, due to table space, that you limit the number of entries per category. Now, we've had it happen once, where we had somebody try to overload a category with a whole bunch of models. I'm going to tell you it's not going to work, okay? And I'll explain a little bit further because it has to do with the I'm trying to read it here. And, sorry, the no sweeps rule. We do have a no sweeps rule when it comes to the categories. So anyway, and we request you limit the number of models per category. Don't bring in like 20 some odd models. Bring in your best 2, 3, 4 examples of your work. So that way we'd have plenty of space for other modelers on the tables. There are 4 categories. First one is A, which is ships, aircraft, tanks, and spacecraft. Second one is Gundams, figures, and fighting suits. Category C, which is everything else, including dioramas, cosplay props, and anything else that fit in the top 2. And then category D is juniors, which are 17-year-old and below. Now, models can only be entered in just one standard category. Adult modelers can enter the categories A through C. Category D is specifically for juniors. Now, however, if there's a junior out there that thinks that they can compete in the other 3 categories, we will allow them to do that. So, but they will need to request to be put in one of those categories. All models entered in the model contest are eligible for the Judges Grand and the Popular Vote Awards. We do have a theme award, and only models that fit the theme criteria are eligible for that award. So if you think about it, if you enter a model into the model contest early enough, your model has a chance to win 4 separate awards. This year's theme, as I already stated, is Star Trek. And subjects that qualify include the following: any ships, personnel, and equipment that was featured in any form in any of the Star Trek movies, TV shows, or video games. That includes Deep Space Nine, that includes the original the original series, the New Generation, Star Trek Enterprise. It also includes movies such as The Wrath of Khan, Star Trek 3, Star Trek 4, and it also includes both standard canon and Kelvin Universe canon. So basically, all of it. Fan-produced material that had been featured on the website, such as YouTube, such as Star Trek Pacific 201, Axanar, and Starships Exeter, and other such fan-produced materials are also admissible. These items and personnel can be from a myriad of Starfleet allies, or from the alien races featured in Star Trek as enemies such as Klingon, Romulan, Borg, Jem'Hadar, Breen, Kazon, Tholian, etc., etc., and some of the bad guys such as Khan from Space Sea, the Wrath of Khan, and also we will include the Starfleet vessels that were involved in the Mirror Universe, or I think they call it the Mirror Darkly. So, anyway, that's Star Trek right there. Technically, if it's associated anyway with Star Trek, you can admit the model contest. Okay. Now, there's some slight changes when it comes to what we will admit. They are the following: only fully built model kits, 3D printed model kits, and I will show an example of what we're looking for here, because if you print out you like the USS Enterprise in one piece on a 3D printer, we will not accept that. It has to be built. It has to be assembled. So the pieces can be 3D printed, but you still have to assemble it. I'll show you what I mean shortly here. I do have an example of the 3D kit. Okay, 3D printed models that require assembly, scratch built models, we'd love to see that, and toys that have extensive work with rebuilding. That includes seams filled, scratch building of components such as cockpit or weapons, painting and weathering. So all that has to be redone on, if you purchase, like, we have a member that does this. He purchased some of the old Star Wars kits from the 80s, the big kits, and he basically took them apart. He redid the interior, put them back together, filled in seams. Basically, he treated it like a model kit, and that's acceptable as well. No pre-constructed toys straight out of the box. Yeah, we've had somebody try that to us before. And in the case of the Star Trek kits, you know, the Eagle Moss kits, they're beautiful, nice little kits. Yeah, we won't accept those. Those are null and void. Sorry. No pre-constructed toys straight out of the box or with minor work or just repainting will be allowed. So if you take something out of the box and just put a coat on it, paint a coat on it, call it good, we're not going to call it good. It will not be allowed. No Lego assembly kits. Sorry. The reason behind it is because Legos are not to be permanent when assembled, because you can just take them apart and build something else out of it. Model kits is not exactly that way. I know some people will argue, well, you can do it with snap-tight kits. Yeah, you can do it with snap-tight kits, but then you put it back together, it's still going to look what it did earlier on. It doesn't change the look. And, more likely, with snap-tight kits, well, I mean, if you can bring a snap-tight kit, it's going to have to fall under the regulations of what's going to qualify for the contest, which means seams filled, stuff like that. So if you do build a snap-tight kit, if you put it together and call it good, it might not pass. Well, I mean, we'll admit it to contest, and depending on the competition, it might not pass muster. But that's up to you. But when it comes to Legos are meant to be multi-use, multi-build, and that's not what we're looking for, because you can't apply model building techniques to Legos. You can't do it unless you intend to keeping it in the same shape forever, which nobody ever does. For reworked toys, documentation of the work done, such as pictures, is recommended. For 1-1 scale props, weapons, and these are for the cosplayers, stuff like that, only reworked toys, including Nerf guns, model kits, or scratch built weapons and equipment will be accepted. So, and this is what I'm talking about for a 3D kit here. I bought an example off the web. This is it right here. This is a Super E, Super Nintendo. I bought this because, well, I have the Academy kits, and the Academy kits have a glaring error, which I'm not going to go further into. But when it comes to 3D kits, this is what we're looking for. Okay, we're not looking for something that was straight out, one shot, one piece, no assembly required here. So, when I start with this right here, this is the fuselage. Now, the thing about it is, of course, from a standard model kit, the gates and all that are completely different. This is a 3D gate, 3D gate. The only difference is that the fuselage is one piece. You can slightly see it, so you got the fuselage and the tail and all that. However, these are the wings. Okay. And here are the cockpit parts and stuff like that. I'm not going to open this up, but this is what we're looking for. Something that you have to assemble. So if you buy a 3D kit, you have to assemble it. You have to fill in the seams, at some of the joints and stuff like that. You do have to paint it. You do have to weather it. You can do your detailing, stuff like that. That's what we're looking for. Something you have to put together. So if you're going to if you're going to use a 3D kit, it has to be something associated just like this right here. You have to do some assembly on it. That's what we're looking for 3D kits. I know there's a big debate in the modeling community concerning 3D kits. We're making our stand clear concerning this. You do have to do some type of assembly and building and weathering and painting and all that fun stuff. So, anyway. So, that's the 3D kit deal. Judging criteria will be the following from most important to least. Construction. I know, I'm going to hear something about, well, you know, if he's got a seam line and if it's at a place where you can barely see it, you shouldn't have to judge it. Well, if you're building a house and you decide not to use studs because you can't see them, well, eventually the house is going to fall down on your head. And that means bad construction. And that's what we're looking for. Construction that includes seams are filled properly, and then finish, which includes painting, weathering, extra work, aftermarket scratch building, and accuracy. Now, accuracy accuracy is going to be the question mark on there too, because if you're scratch building something, if you're kid bashing something, well, accuracy probably isn't going to be on the top list on it, because the builder is going to be using their imagination, and that's something we're kind of gunning for as well. So if you're doing something that's a complete kit bash, the accuracy is going to be on the builder, so we're not pushing that too hard. The accuracy portion falls in something like, for instance, if you build an F4, well, it has to look like an F4. If you build USS Enterprise, it has to look like USS Enterprise. That's what we're looking for. If you're doing kit bashing or something like that, or if you're going for something completely different, well, accuracy is just something that be put off to the side. So anyway, now, as I stated, there is a no sweeps rule. What do I mean by no sweeps? Okay. No sweeps means that a modeler cannot win more than one award per category. So if you have one individual here that brings a dozen model kits because they want to overload a category and get all 3 awards, I'm sorry, it will not work. The way that the contest is going to run is the best work from one modeler versus the best work from another modeler versus the best work from another modeler. So if you bring 4 kits into one category, we're going to take your 4 kits, we're going to look at it, we're going to judge which one's the best, and then that's going to be competition with the other modelers. Now, well, let's say, for instance, if you get a category where there's only 2 modelers involved, does that mean there's a chance I get 3rd place? No, it's not going to work that way. We're awarding awards by number of modelers, not by number of models. So if you got a category here, we got 3 models in, 2 of them from the same person. Well, that person is going to get just 1 award. I'm sorry. but it's to make it cool, it's to make it fair. I don't like the idea of crowding a category to try and get all the awards. Um, it makes it equitable for other people to do their best work. So we'll leave it at that. And that's another reason why we ask you not to bring 20 models for a single category, because it's just not going to work. Now, if you bring models to go in multiple categories, you have the possibility of winning an award in each category, but you don't have the possibility of winning 2 or 3 awards in the same category. So, now, if you play your cards right, the earlier that you get your model in, the more likely it may get votes for popular vote award. And I'll go into it because that's one of the questions that was asked concerning registration. The earlier you get your model in and the longer it stays in the contest, the larger chance it might be voted in by popular vote. Every kid, if you bring it in early enough, every kid has a possibility of winning 4 awards. If it beats the theme, Star Trek theme, definitely. Okay? So, it has a possibility of getting Star Trek, it has a possibility of getting popular vote, it has a possibility of getting the judges grand, and it's got a possibility of placing in one of the categories. 4 awards for 1 model kit. Not bad, right? But as I stated, entering early enough and under the theme will get you that chance. If not, well, you have a chance of getting 3 or 2 or even 1. So, registration and judges hours. Okay, we will begin registration as soon as the con opens on Friday. I believe that's noontime. It will be all day Saturday, and it'll be Sunday until noontime when we shut down registration. When we shut down registration, we will also get the count for popular vote, and we will go ahead and judge the models. We are planning on having the award ceremony about 3 o'clock. Again, this is up to the con scheduling and location. We're not sure whether we're going to have the award ceremony at the modeling tables or if we're going to have a separate room. More information for that will be coming out later. For the award ceremony, a winner or a representative of the winner has to be present in order to accept the award. And of course, judges' decisions are final and cannot be changed, nullified once awarded. So get those payment checks in the mail early, boys and girls. Alrighty. So you have that. Now, one other thing here too. I don't have it with me right now. This is concerning the juniors. Any of the juniors that enter, and we're talking about juniors. If they don't enter the junior category, if they say to enter another category, it's perfectly fine. But for juniors, I will have a big vat of model kits at the end of the contest. Any juniors that register for the model contest, whether you place or not, at the end of the contest after the award ceremony, you'll get a chance of getting a free model kit out of the vat. There's plenty of planes, cars. I know there's a USS Enterprise in there someplace as well. Just pick whatever you want. So, and that will be after the contest. So, now here are the questions. We have 3 questions concerning this. The first one is fees, modeling fees. Are there any fees in our contest? Well, I've already stated, no fees. There is no model fee. There's no entry fee. There's none of that. All the fees are front-ended with the con themselves. So we're not associated with it. We're not worried about that. This model contest is not to make money or anything like that. This model contest is for you guys, and I'll get further into that because I'd like to get more input and more people from our area, not IPMS members. I want to see people, just normal people. They're not associated with the club or anything like that. I want to see you guys bring your stuff out. So, 3D kits. I've answered a question as well. Yes, we do allow 3D kits, but as long as assembly is required and it meets the criteria of how to build a model aircraft. So you still have to go through the same things with, filling in seam lines if you got them, painting, weathering, stuff like that. So if you, and as I stated, if you print a single piece model kit, it won't be accepted. You have to do assembly with it. And the last question is, do we have to be present all 3 days in order to register the contest, or when does registration end? You do not have to be there all 3 days. I do understand. I mean, I would recommend coming all 3 days because there's quite a bit to do. There's a lot of good panels going on. And of course, you got a chance to meet some famous individuals, and plus, there's a huge area where you can buy a lot of stuff. And there'll be some demonstrations and whatever. So there's plenty to do for the 3 days of the con. However, you don't have to be there all 3 days. As I stated, though, the earlier you register your model kits, the bigger chance you have of getting the popular vote contest or popular vote award. But as long as you get your model kit in by 11:59 and 59 seconds on Sunday morning, you can register it for the contest. So you have that. So you can be there for 1 day, register for the contest, and still get in the contest. You don't need to be there all 3 days, but I do kind of recommend it. So anyways, that's it for the questions as well. And the rules for O Con Expo. As I stated, I will post this on YouTube and of course on our Facebook page. I will also have a transcript of the rules as well, so that you can read it. If there are any questions, please don't be afraid to ask. Go ahead and post them. Anyway, you all have a good day. Thanks.